What's up, guys? Today we're going to be specking out our engine. Let's show you guys what I got going on. Here we have everything laid out. We got our pistons, our rods, thrust washers, main bearings, rod bearings, pen and paper, crankshaft, block, and then the main caps, and then these are the plugs for the engine that I need to put in. Today's goal is to try and spec out all of our main and rod measurements so we can write them down on the paper, and then we also need to do the same for the caps. We can get this part of the builds finished. If you guys didn't see my last little video, we got the trans together with our zinc plated hardware. It looks very nice. I'm very happy with how it came out. Let's get this crankshaft unbagged, cleaned, and ready to measure it out.
Now before I put some lube on all of the journals, that way I with with our minutes. So everything seems to be good. Gotta take it out now.
I'd say when you're engine building, it is very critical that you keep everything clean.
They're just coming back.
Okay guys, we got our main bearings spec'd out, and here is what that looks like. Hope you guys can see. And then we're gonna have just 4 rod bearings, again measuring 3 different ways. I think we're finished with our crankshaft. These are our measurements. We got our front bearings. They're pretty within spec, about 1/10 off minimum. And our rod bearings are dead on, matching with each other. So I'm pretty happy with that. What we gotta do now is, so we gotta put our bearings in here, as well as on this guy. Torque those to spec, and then measure everything out where our bearings go in. Make sure those are clean and sprayed out really good. Alright guys, these are our main bearings. They're going to go into the block and then into our little girdle thing that's sitting right over there. Just make sure it has this little groove right here. You'll see it sticking out, and match it with this groove right here. Just like that. And make sure it's flat on both sides. Now we're going to put the rest in.
Alright, okay. And down, okay. Just make sure you see that way.
The front. If you guys are wondering, that is number 1. This is gonna face that way with these ridges and stuff facing up. This is number 5. This is the flywheel side. This is the front of the motor side. So with a rubber mallet, that is. Also got some OEM bolts to tighten down our, whatever you call these things, I forgot the name. But if you guys need that part number, you need 6 of these, because they go in these 6 right here, and then the 2 on the outside is going to be this part number right here. Get yourself a little bit of oil, because you're going to want to coat the threads up a little bit, and also the washers.
Alright. Two.
Alright. Crankshaft is ready to go in the block. We are now working on our rod bearings. This one is number 1 number 1 rod. First torque spec is 25 foot-pounds, and then a final torque spec of 55 foot-pounds. And this is our bolt stretch, 5.5 thousandths to 6.5 thousandths. I already measured this number 1 rod. We have about 2 thou of clearance on our rod bearing. That bore gauge is zeroed out on the mic, and the mic is set on the rod bearing journal on the crankshaft. So now we're ready to measure our clearance for our oil. So this is where your bore gauge comes into play. Once you put your bore gauge in here, you will then get a measurement. Seat your bolts hand tight. Now my bore gauge is already set to 0 for the journal diameter from the crankshaft. So we just slip it in. We are getting half thou. Awesome. Everything looks good. So now all of our rods are spec'd out. We just now got the pistons. Before I get too ahead of myself, we gotta do our pistons and then we can assemble our block. But doing our pistons, we gotta do piston wall clearance and then our piston rings, top ring and the second ring. Then we'll be done. Pistons are now assembled. If you can see the thickness difference within those two, this one's more thicker than this. This one's gonna help us make a lot more power. Sorry guys, my camera cut off because the battery got a little warm. But right now I'm putting the wrist pins in. Alright boys, she is assembled. Everything spins over really nice. Now we gotta just put the head on and we'll have a complete long block. We'll have a complete short block. That's gonna do it for this video, guys. I'll catch you guys in the next one where we put the head gasket on and start getting this thing looking more like an engine. So, thank you guys for watching. See you boys.